following program is a public access production. Comcast is required to provide time on this channel and make it available pursuant to franchise agreements with the communities we serve. Comcast is not affiliated with the following program or the producers of public access programming and is not responsible for the content. The following program does not reflect the opinions of Comcast or its affiliates.
Welcome to another edition of Discover Tinley, where we highlight the people and organizations in town that make Tinley Park really a great place in which to live. And as we all know, Tinley Park is a pretty great place in which to live. My name is Ron Centanni. I'll be your host tonight. And as always, this month the show comes to you through the volunteer efforts of the Community Resources Commission, along with members of the commission and our high school volunteers who are behind the scenes working our cameras and editing and things like that. As you know, Tinley Park's Community Resource Commission is a very long-standing volunteer commission along with all the other volunteer commissions in town. A lot of things happening in town here. I can't believe it's halfway through the fall already. Have you started your Christmas shopping yet? I hope not, but hopefully it's coming pretty soon. A couple things coming up next month in November. Our yearly Youth in Government program at the Village Hall, where we invite students from the high schools in town to come and literally take over the government for an evening. That'll be on November 19th at 7 o'clock. If you get a chance to come over there, it's kind of neat to see our fantastic high school students in town talking about the village government and learning what it's all about. It's a good program. Talking about schools, Tinley Park is known for its schools. As we know, a few years ago, Tinley Park was noted for being the best place in which to raise kids, and one of the reasons for that is because of the good schools we have in town here. And every so often we'd like to talk to some of the people from the schools in town here, and we're kind of fortunate tonight to have with us the principal of one of our oldest middle school in Tinley Park. It's been around a long time, but he's kind of new to the area. Randy Fortin. Randy, welcome to Discover Tinley.
Thank you for having me.
The new principal of Central Middle School for what, a year now, right?
Yes, completed my first year, entering year 2.
And you're still with it, huh?
I'm still here.
You haven't decided to leave yet.
That's a fact.
How has it been so far? What's it been like to take over Central Middle School in Tinley Park?
It honestly has been a dream job so far. It's exceeded my expectations. I come from Manteno, Illinois, and just 25 miles south, and a little bit smaller town, and adjusting to a larger town, and just really soaking in the things that we have to offer here in Tinley.
Wow. Now, what's your background now? You've been teaching, you were a teacher before?
Yeah, I started teaching 4th grade. I taught fourth grade for 3 years in Manteno, and then I moved into an assistant principal role in the middle school. I did that for 3 years, and then I accepted a position in Bradley as an athletic director, assistant principal, and then the position came available in Tinley. I applied for it, and here we are today.
What made you apply for Tinley? What made you think about, I want to apply to that school in Tinley Park?
I have a very progressive attitude on education, and I really was specific on the type of school and district that I wanted to work for. And Tinley met many of my criteria for the forward thinking, the implementation of technology. It's the way we address Common Core, the high stakes testing. Our just approach on education and how to serve students and their families is what attracted me to Central.
Wow. And let's talking about the school now. What's it like? What kind of programs do you have there that are kind of really neat to Central Middle School, and since you've been there?
Yeah, we have a really, what I've come to learn, an extraordinary band program. We have the services that we provide to our students through what we call our Encore program, which is kind of the holistic approach to education, where we're teaching them Spanish, where we're teaching our students home economics, construction tech, technology, arts,
Construction tech in
Yes.
middle school?
Yes, we're
Wow.
trying to expose our students to the variety of professions that await them after high school or college.
Beautiful. That's interesting. I didn't know that we had that still around. I know when I first started teaching, that was part of in the high schools. I was the high school teacher, and then they had the auto shop and the shop classes, and that's kind of gone by the wayside. So it's kind of nice to see that still kind of home ec and the construction things there.
It's really something that sets us apart, I feel, from a lot of middle schools that I've worked with or am working with now. And it's something that we hang our hat on and are very proud of.
How many students at the school now?
About 760 this year.
Wow.
So far.
That's a good sized school.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's manageable.
And how many faculty have you got there?
We have 107 staff.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, so providing all kinds of services, from the instruction to specialists to tutors to paraprofessionals, special education teachers, a wide variety. We have a lot to offer.
Wow, okay. Any really, other than construction, home ec, any other special programs that kind of make Central a unique place to go to school?
Yeah, we are an inclusive school, and what that means is that no matter your ability level, we do everything in our power to service them at their level. So that can look like we have students with a variety of unique needs, and that we're able to meet their, whether it's with assistive technology all the way to an advanced placement curriculum for our students who are excelling and have a college track or honors programs.
Wow. What kind of students are there? What kind of background, or I don't want to say test scores, but how is Central rating or matching up to other schools in the area?
Central does very well.
Okay.
Schools are measured oftentimes on standardized tests, and you have to meet specific benchmarks given to us by the government, and we are proud to say that we've met them and have continued to meet them. And so our student population is very diverse. We're a melting pot, and it's one of the things that makes Central really unique.
Now, you just draw from Tinley, or are there any other communities in the district?
Yeah, this is something that I've grown to learn. We service 4 different high schools, and we have 4 elementary feeders that feed to us, 1 in Orland, 2 in Tinley, and 1 in Oak Forest.
Oh my!
That fall in our area, that all send students to us, and then we send them out to the 4 high schools of Andrew, Andrew, Sandburg, Oak Forest, and Tinley Park.
Wow!
Yeah.
I didn't know you spread out that much.
Yes, we are, very much, and it's a pretty even split between the 2 districts.
Oh.
We have 280 students, and it's a pretty even split between the 2 districts, the high school districts we send to.
Okay. Now, besides the academics, what can the kids, you only have 1 or 2 things that kids get involved with, huh?
Well, yeah, this is another thing that we are very proud about that we have to offer our students. We offer about 30 after-school clubs to our students and their families after school, and we also provide transportation for them. We have an activity bus that, for those parents that are working, that students can still be experiencing clubs, such everything from a video game club to an art club to a knitting club. We have a 5K club. We have
no, okay, a 5K club meaning
running.
Oh, running. Okay,
Yes, they do running.
I'm not into running, so I probably didn't know.
Okay. We have a Zumba club. We have a drama club. We have a glee club, a choir club. I mean, if you can't find something to do there, you're in trouble. Because we have a lot of things that we offer our students after school tutoring, all things that we provide for our students to help them be successful.
Would you say a good number of kids are involved with the extra activities? Is that a high involvement rate?
Yeah, very much so. In order to have a club, we need at least 15 students. And so if you just kind of do that simple math, it's well over half of our student population is served in those clubs. And then that doesn't even tap into our athletics.
I was going to ask you, what kind of athletic program do you have over there?
We participate in the Southwest Conference, and so that is boys and girls softball, boys and girls basketball, boys and girls volleyball, track, we pretty much have a lot to offer. And then our band program is very large as well, and so they travel quite a bit. So I would say 70 to 80% of our student population are in some sort of activity after school.
Wow.
It's awesome.
That is tremendous. I know when I was teaching, and I'd really encourage is the extracurricular activities are a really important part of school life. It's not, the book work is fine, and you need to do that, you need to be educated, but that other stuff is still very important to add to your lifetime.
Yeah, and our students have taken advantage of it. And anytime we encourage students to offer new ideas, that's really how Video Game Club came into existence. They said we would like a place to hang out and with the teacher and talk and play video games, and that's from the students. That's how that club came about. So we try to service what our students want.
Wow. As principal, what's been after your first year? Any interesting things going on, or any interesting challenges that have come up in the last year or so?
There are many, but they're all kind of boring because they're things that the state has enforced on us, and meeting the Common Core standards, changing our curriculum to in this high-stakes testing world, and to make sure that our students are prepared not only to test into programs in high school, but into college, and so that they're successful. So a lot of the challenges that come around are behind the scenes where people don't really see that, so that the students can have a rich experience in the building.
Wow. Any goals or aspirations you have of Central and in the next 20 years of your principal? I don't know if you want to stay there that long, but anything you want to see Central really progress in the next few years?
When I took the position, I got an opportunity to talk with the staff before I started. And my goal has been, by the time that my time is done at Central Middle School, that we will be a lighthouse middle school in the state of Illinois. And to do that requires a lot of flexibility, a lot of planning, a lot of time. And so we want to be the place where people come to learn about middle schools in Illinois. And so we've really taken that progressive attitude into implementing programs in our building that are outside the box, that try to meet the students' needs as opposed to a binder. Curriculum, if you will. And so we are implementing right now an advisory program. And the whole focus on that is building relationships, intimate relationships with our students to find out what they need. Because when you know what students need, you're able to meet their learning objectives much easier. And so that's been really exciting. We're also going to we're experimenting with co-teaching, and we're also experimenting with the flipped classroom philosophy.
The what now?
Yeah, the flipped classroom is where the teacher puts a lesson, a 10 to 15 minute lesson of direct instruction online. And the students, as their homework, are to watch or to engage in that direct instruction. And then while at school, it's all based upon like the traditional idea of homework, if you will. And so that it's more learn outside and then try in the building and be guided by your teacher, so that you have a place where you can make mistakes and learn from those mistakes so you don't make them again.
Wow.
So it's really exciting. And then the thing we just implemented is we have an iPad Mini for every student in our building, as well as Chromebooks for all of our students. And so we're really starting to push technology out, and soon the students will be able to take their technology home with them. So there really isn't an excuse, I left my my book at school, I can't learn this fact.
The dog ate the homework.
Exactly, that's gone. But it's really exciting. The kids have really embraced it, and are very positive feedback from our parents, and it's really an exciting time to be in education.
Wow.
A lot of changes.
It is. It's so much. So, well, it sounds like you've got quite a good handle on it, and I think Central is fortunate to have you there. So it's good for your youth and energy and energetic promotion of Central Middle School. So thanks for coming to Discover Tinley, and wish you all the best for Central Middle School. Central Middle School, Randy Fortin, Principal, Central Middle School. I don't want to say medical. Central Middle School, and good luck to you in the future.
Yes, thanks, Ron.
All right, thank you.
Always held on the Sunday before Halloween, the Downtown Tinley Boo Bash is fun, kid-friendly, and free. Families will be able to enjoy a costume contest with great prizes as well as ghoulish games, plenty of fun photo opportunities, and DJ entertainment. Last year, Step Up Dance Academy taught kids of all ages the dance performed in Michael Jackson's famous Thriller video and performed their own spooky dances. Also last year, a mad scientist showed children of his crazy experiments. You won't want to miss similar events this year, as well as trick-or-treating with downtown Tinley businesses, where the kids will get lots of candy and the parents will get lots of coupons. The Downtown Tinley Boo Bash will be held Sunday, October 27th, at the Oak Park Avenue train station. We hope to see you there.
Well, it was kind of interesting talking to our Central Middle School principal and showing what kind of great schools we have in town here. And as I said at the beginning of the program, Tinley Park is also noted for its volunteers. And our next guest is known for her volunteering in a very important project in town. And I wonder how many of you know what a Victory Garden is. That's something a little before even my time, but it's been around for a while. And we have with us the Victory Garden coordinator of Tinley Park, Julie Decker. Welcome to Discover Tinley.
Ron. Thanks for having me.
The Victory Garden. What's a Victory Garden?
Okay, it's a little before my time
Yes,
too.
I know.
Okay, but back during the World War I, I believe, and World War II, in order to support the efforts of the troops, a lot of the foods and things that were grown were going to the soldiers, things like that, and people were encouraged to grow food at home. So everyone did get behind our country, you know, in those wars, and they would use any patch of land that they had, their yards and all that were turned over. Instead of just growing grass, they would grow vegetables and all that, so they could actually not only eat that themselves and save money and not have to buy, but they contributed them, you know, to the troops and all that.
Yeah, this way the farmers could be devoting all their land for the troops food instead of individuals. Wow.
Yeah, not only that, I read that a lot of the farm workers were drafted to be in the war. Also, they went to war, so there were not farm laborers like you normally have. So there was a lot less of that. So they actually needed the public to step up and help, like in that, you know, in that manner also.
Wow. So where's Tinley Park's Victory Garden?
Well, we have a couple of them actually. We don't really advertise the other ones so much, but the main one is on Oak Park Avenue. It's about 172nd, maybe.
I don't know if we can get a shot of this a little bit here.
It's kind of between
Tehan's
and the corner of Tehan's there at 173rd.
Okay.
And it's a little bit north of that, between that and the Family Hair Care building. That's the property belongs to Jim Fuentes. Okay. He's our Tinley Park State Farm agent.
Okay.
Most of you will know Jim Fuentes.
The mayor of Oak Park Avenue.
The mayor of Oak Park Avenue, right. But 5 years, this is our 5th year actually, and 5 years ago, this was the idea of Jim and his wife Lois. And he owns that property plus, you know, several others. And at that time, the economy was really in a rough spot. And people are groaning about businesses being closed up and buildings being knocked down and empty land and things like that. And they just kind of got it in their head that maybe their land could be used for something, you know, more useful instead of sitting empty. So he mentioned this idea at a meeting that I happened to be at and asked if anybody was interested in helping, you know, if they'd want to do that. Well, I've always loved to garden, and we live in a condo now, so I don't have my garden anymore. So I thought, sure, what the heck? Well, it turns out I was the only one who came to the meeting. So I got to be the official coordinator. You know how volunteers are kind of hard to find sometimes? Well, it was actually myself and John Curran, who's the director of the Park District. He was there also, so I shouldn't say that. There were 3 of us, and that's how it started. And we each contributed, and we approached Sonoris Nursery. They're about 191st in Harlem.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And asked about, you know, donating plants. And they said, sure. So they let us pick everything we needed and wanted. Not only did they do that, they supplied the dirt and the compost and all that and delivered it to the garden. I had put out a notice in the newspaper for someone who might have a rototiller, and got someone to come forth with that, and we shoveled and tilled in all this, you know, compost and stuff. There's actually 2 gardens, and they're both about that big, about 30 feet by 30 feet. So it was quite a bit of physical labor. Yeah, gardening is a verb.
Were just the 3 of you doing this physical labor?
No, it was, well, there were a few volunteers who stepped forward and helped there, especially in that first year once we got it established. Much easier after that, because we had a little fencing to put in and really get the space established. And so each year it's been a little bit different. We have different people, like organizations, say special needs people, which is what surprised me. I didn't see that coming, but a couple different organizations approached us and said, you know what, our clients need to do something like gardening. They want to do that type of work, but we don't have a garden for them to work in. So they will come out and they'll pull weeds, or pick vegetables or whatever needs doing at the time. And it's very therapeutic for them. And they actually like being in with plants and stuff, and that's something that they don't normally have a chance to do. So they're helping people. They don't even realize it, So it's kind of a wonderful circle of just people doing good, So we've had several groups like that. We've had scout groups. We've had individuals, whoever comes forward each year. This year it happened to be Ed and Pat Simpson have really stepped up. And last year also, they came in last year, I should say. So this is their second year. And they run the Historical Society over here in town. And they've done such a wonderful job and have been so helpful. So we're really appreciative to them. We have anonymous people who drop off plants. We just come in, there's flats of plants. As a matter of fact, our jalapenos.
Yeah, we have so many.
Thank you to whomever dropped off the jalapenos. All those, there was a whole flat, 24 plants of that.
Oh my.
Flowers, tomato plants and things,
Oh, wow.
So people are very kind. So they try and help in any way that they can.
Yeah. That's tremendous. I didn't know people were dropping stuff off and helping you with that kind of. Now, when do you start this usually?
Well, as usual, May 15th is supposed to be the last frost date, so we play it by ear there. It's usually, beginning to mid-May, and we're safe to go.
Okay. And then how long? You go to the growing season. Now we're in October now. We're about getting towards the end now, huh?
Right. We are pretty much wound out now,
And you're seeing some of the examples of
some
of this stuff.
Tomatoes keep coming.
Okay.
and beans, that's something we plant is in what they call successive planting, meaning like every 2 weeks you put in another batch so that you don't just get one batch of beans and they all come up and you're done. So in 2 weeks the next set's coming and the next set. So you do it like that throughout the summer. And,
now what do you do with all this food?
We give ours to the Methodist Church, the food pantry that's there, right down the street on 173rd off Oak Park Avenue. Together We Cope also gets in a lot of donations too, so we tend to give it to the Methodist Church because they don't get as much. But I believe they do share, actually, when they have an overabundance of things, they go back and forth. So we just drop ours off there.
So it goes to the food pantries in town?
It goes just to the food pantries.
Wow. Okay, and this other plot too, the same thing?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, so we have just as much growing in the other one.
I think it's kind of important. Some of those food pantries, they get the canned goods and the packaged stuff, but they have the fresh fruit and fresh vegetables. That's really a special.
That's the biggie because, we all love that first tomato we get in the summer. And can you imagine if you don't get that kind of stuff? You really don't get that pleasure. And fresh vegetables for kids and that sort of thing, it's just so much nicer to give that than canned and boxed foods all the time. That and... I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, the Chicago Food Depository actually gives them fresh fruits and vegetables once a month.
Oh.
Okay. But the other 3 weeks, they're not. So it's whatever comes in. And one of the beautiful parts of this garden, when we drop things off, when we started it, we encouraged people, that was part of this thing, to use parts of their own garden. Why don't you, if you're going to plant, 6 plants, can you put in a couple extra and, earmark that for the food pantry? You've got the space already. Why don't you do that? And everybody gets a ton of tomatoes. What do you do with them? That's a really good place to bring them. So when we drop off our stuff, it's really encouraging to see how many bags are there of garden vegetables. You can tell they're all homemade stuff, but there's a lot of people who do it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's a really neat thing to see.
Okay, that's good to hear that there's more people involved with doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, congratulations on doing such a fine job with that thing. That's a.
Oh, I do not do all the work. Trust me. Gardening is a lot of physical labor, and that's one of the problems. Yeah, it's so physical. It is hard for some people to get down on their knees and really spend the time down there, doing that.
I know that.
Yeah, you kind of need younger people.
I used to do more gardening.
Yeah, so we hope those scouts will come through, and the different youth groups and things like that. That helps.
How much time do you think how much time do you spend working on the gardeners? It's spent involved with keeping this thing up, would you say?
Gotta water it every day.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my.
Yeah, if we have rain, we do pretty good. If we don't have rain, we're there every day to water it for sure.
Oh, my.
And then there's weeds. There's constant
Oh,
weeds.
yeah.
So, we have to thank, actually, Ellen and Mike Clark from Ed and Joe's. They were the ones who came forward this year and gave us all the lawn clippings that we needed, because we're always asking for lawn clippings. We use it as a mulch, and that helps keep the weeds down. And they came through, like, with flying colors and brought us bags and bags and bags of their grass clippings. And they also gave us a really beautiful bench from, from the bench program, the benches on the avenue.
Yeah.
They gave us one from a previous year, so we have a really nice bench now in the yard from them. So we want to thank them.
Wow. Well, it's nice you get volunteer efforts from all kinds of people.
It comes from everywhere.
I know.
It really does.
Tinley Park is, that's Tinley Park.
It's that kind of town.
That's Tinley
That's
Park.
why I live
We're
here.
known for that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
And any down things going on with that, or anything, that obstacles that are in the way of some of that? I know.
Just Mother Nature sometimes. This year has been a little bit tough. The plants did not respond like we hoped, as much. But I'm hearing that from a lot of people too. So, not sure what that's about. But we try real hard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, with a garden, you never know.
Right.
The weather.
Yeah, that's the
we're
thing.
not farmers.
We try.
Talk about the farm. You got a few other hats in town. While you're here, let's talk about your other hats. And Julie is involved in town here in a couple other things. She just doesn't volunteer for the gardening, all that stuff. You're the director of the VVAC, the Vogt Visual Arts Center.
Right. That takes up a lot of my time.
And that's over there. Exactly where's that at?
17420 South, 67th Court. Okay. It's about 174th and Oak Park Avenue, just on the east side of the street.
Right across from the American Legion there.
Yeah.
And what goes on there?
Oh, all kinds of stuff goes on there. In the gallery, I run the gallery, and I have a different show there every month.
Okay.
So, and we're almost 2 years booked out already, so I'm very excited. Right. We're always booked solid. Different show every single month, so if you've stopped in, please come back, because it always changes.
Now, you got a pretty special show coming up in October, don't you?
Yes, we do.
Well, one after my heart.
I can't wait to see what you put in there for this month. Yeah, the Foresters Camera Club is our regular annual October show. Okay. The photography has just become so popular that not only do we have a March photography show, but we have the Foresters in October. So, and that's always a quality show, you know.
Well, I know. I'm an amateur or some of that kind of stuff. Some of those guys are.
You're the guy with the exotic shots, though.
Well, we try to.
They're always from somewhere
else
in the world.
Far travels and all this stuff there. Wow. Yeah. So, we try to do that. But yeah, so in October, if you get around there in October, come and see the photography show at the VVAC, and it'd be kind of neat to see that kind of stuff. Right. And then you do some writing too, don't you?
I do. I actually have a column in the Southtown Star. It is a neighborhood column. I cover community interest things, just kind of like what you're doing. Yeah. And you'll probably see a little something in my next article about I'm turning the tables on you. So, because this program is a really wonderful thing that you do. Yeah. And I hope lots of people, take it in. So.
Well, it should then. Yeah. So how often is that article?
It is every other Sunday.
Okay.
In the neighborhood section of the Southtown Star.
Matter of fact, that's where I first heard about some of your art. As a matter of fact, here's the article I saw. About the garden. It was in the about you being in there, and then your articles sometimes give me ideas of who to come here on the show. So
it's interesting. There are so many people in Tinley Park who are doing cool things, good things, interesting things. There's so much going on. See? And it's a great place to live.
It is. Well, Tinley Park is a great place in which to live. We find that out.
I didn't even get to vote on that, and we got it. So.
Oh my! Okay.
But I would have voted.
And you and your husband do some other little things around town.
We do a little entertaining here and there. Yeah. My husband was a professional entertainer for about 26 years, and he was a clown, worked in several venues, circuses and things like that, and a lot of entertaining. So when we got married, he sort of pulled me into that. Okay. And we do the firemen's open house, every year. We do the parades and whatever else is going on.
Sometimes we see now, you may not recognize her and her husband, but they're in
a little
these
more
clown
makeup
costumes. But it's kind of neat when you see them all dressed up in their clown costumes.
We're little town clowns here, yeah.
Well, you bring some merriment to the kids there.
We try.
Well, it sounds like you've got a lot of things going. You do a lot of things for Tinley Park, and you really keep the town going here without a bunch of different things. So keep up the volunteer spirit, and also the VVAC. That's a big thing.
Yeah, and I owe you a lot for that too. You were in the ground
got
level of that.
Got it started, yes.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah,
that's neat.
Well, thanks for coming to Discover Tinley. Thanks for keeping and going, and thanks for watching Discover Tinley. Hopefully, we'll see you next month with a very special show. We got some people on there that really will be very interesting to see. So come and see us next month at Discover Tinley, and we'll see you next month.